Alright, all you crazy kids. Wintertime is in full effect now, which means it's time to get these guitars set up. But I was just playing this Sir Telecaster here, and I noticed the action didn't quite feel right to me, and I think the neck probably has moved. So I think it's time that we went ahead and gave her a little setup. I figured I'd film the process since I was sitting here anyway. I'll let you guys kind of know what I'm thinking as I'm doing this. Alrighty. So first things first here, there's a couple of measurements that I need to get before I decide what needs to happen here. So first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna put a little capo on here at the first fret, just like this. You can see that okay, right? We got a capo there, and we got our handy dandy feeler gauges. What I like to do with these is I like to measure it at the 6th fret, and I like to see it anywhere between, typically, I would say about 6 and 8 thousandths of an inch. You can use different measurements. I use thousandths, some people use millimeters. I don't know the conversions, not that smart. So let's see, what do we have? Right now, ooh, his neck has definitely moved since I set her up last. Oh, this is bad news right here. Oh yeah, we're at about 14 thousandths, which is just way too much relief in my opinion. Some people can play like that. It's not really an issue of playability. It still plays just fine. However, it's not as comfortable to play as it could be. You know, this is a compound radius fretboard, so it's not gonna fret out from bending typically, and mostly it's just a comfort thing for me at this point. None of the frets are dead or anything. But let's see where our action's at too while we're at it and see what our improvement is at the end of this. And it's right around 5/32 seconds on both sides, which is about double what I typically play. I'm usually in the ballpark of 2 to 3, which is super low action. I don't really recommend most people play that low, but that's where I like it. I have a pretty light touch so I can get away with it. But anyway, let's loosen the strings up here. This is an important part of the setup, is knowing what to do, but more importantly, knowing what not to do. Again, it's your secretary. You had quite a bit of movement to do. I'm gonna go ahead and give it, that's about a quarter turn, maybe a little bit more than a quarter turn is what I just did to her, but we had quite a way to move. And it's important to note this guitar is also set up in E standard. I am playing 10s on this guitar. Really important when you're adjusting the neck, especially when you're tightening it, to loosen the string tension. And let's see where we're at now. I suspect we're gonna be right about where I wanna be. Let's start with 8 thousandths, right at about 8. I like it right at about 6 to 7. Go ahead and do that one more time here. String tension off, and we'll give it a tiny bit more of a turn here, and we'll tune her back up to pitch. The capo back on here one more time. We're under 8, under 7. We're probably right at about 6. We're exactly at 6, which means our action has improved from about 5 to, about 3 on either side, which is, again, super low for most people. A standard action height on a Fender Telecaster, I believe, is 4/32 of an inch. I could be wrong, but I didn't look it up. Pretty sure that's right. And that's where I like to see mine as well, is 3 to 4. Typically, if I'm doing it for a customer, I'll do it right at 4 usually, unless I get other instructions. Oftentimes, people will ask for the lowest action possible without buzzing. Most guitars that aren't super high-end, it's probably gonna be right around that 4/32 mark. Some higher-end guitars, you can get away with more just because the tolerances are a little bit better in my opinion. It absolutely is case by case. The neck angle has to be correct, and materials used have to be good. The bridge has to be good. Fretwork has to be really good for sure. I'll just tidy her up here. I'm not really worried about the action. I think that's good where it's at. Probably should check the intonation since I just moved the neck, so we'll do that next. The way that I do that, I will show you in just a second. So what do we got? We got grab our long shaft screwdriver and make sure our size is good. Do need to make an adjustment. So I check the harmonic at the 12th fret, tune it to that. It's already tuned to that, which is good. Then you fret it, and actually that's spot on. B string, a little bit flat. Intonation's a little bit flat there too. There's not much I can do because you kind of have to pick on these brass saddles like this. These aren't compensated. This is a Wilkinson bridge, and this one is not a compensated Wilkinson bridge. So you kind of have to pick and choose whether you want your octaves on your E and your G string to be in tune, or if you want them to be on your D and your B strings. And typically I prefer to have the root third and octave in tune. So my E's and my G string I have in tune with each other, and then everything else I'm willing to compromise because you don't really have a choice. And it's not horribly out of tune on that B string anyway. G's pretty close. G and the D both might be a little bit flat. So because they're both a little flat, take the tension off, Give it a little tiny tighten. They're flat. What we want to do is we want to make the string a little bit longer. Now the G's spot on, D's a little flat, and the D's spot on actually too. Go to the A, flat, A's for tune. My tuner turned off for no reason, and my E's in tune. So I would say she's as intonated as she's gonna get. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. That's me setting up a Telecaster, Telecaster. If you're in the Nashville, Tennessee area and need a setup on your guitar, you can message me on Instagram at BudWilson13 or shoot me an email. Or if you see me walking down the street, go, hey Bud, I need a setup. And I'll go, cool, let's do it. And then I'll set your guitar up and it'll play awesome. I do acoustics, electrics, basses, nothing else. Don't ask me to set up a violin. I'll get very upset because I don't know how to do it. Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please let me know down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.